Howdy, folks. I'm Jeff Wedding Bloom,
I'm Amber.
and here's some wedding Reddit, but not all of it, just one story. All right, folks. Our first letter is titled, Am I a jerk for wearing a wedding dress at a wedding? So, my friend is a 20-year-old female, and I, a 19-year-old male, have been friends for a few years, and she recently got engaged. Well, a week ago, I got a DM from her for a small costume party that she was hosting as a celebration for her getting engaged. I asked if there was a theme, and she said there wasn't. I'm a cosplayer, so I had a lot of choices. I didn't want to rock up in some anime cosplay, so I thought it would be funny to go to an engagement party as the corpse bride. I arrived at her house yesterday and everything seemed normal. A few people complimented on my costume and I was having a lot of fun. Well, after 10 minutes, my friend's fiance walks out in a black tuxedo and announced that this was actually their wedding. Apparently, my friend saw a video of someone doing this and they wanted to do the same. He asked all of us to go to the backyard for the ceremony to begin. I went straight to him. I asked him if I should go home quickly and change my outfit and that I would get back before it started. He told me it was fine, since I didn't know that this was a wedding. I trusted him and I followed everyone outside. They got married and everything seemed good. The reception was just in their house, so again, everyone just walked back inside and picked up where they left off. I tried talking to my friend and celebrating with her, but she kept making excuses not to talk to me. I assumed that it was just because she was tired from the big day and wanted some alone time. I didn't bother her after that, and the party soon ended. Well, I got home and a half hour passed when my phone started getting notifications. I checked it and it was my friend texting me. She was cussing me out and telling me how I ruined her wedding. I was really confused and I asked her what I did. That only made her more angry. She told me that it was basic knowledge not to wear a wedding dress to a wedding. I reminded her that I had no idea that it was a wedding and that I asked her now husband if I should change and he said it was fine. She didn't respond, but I got a text from her husband. He asked why I would tell her that it was fine. I told him that he said that it was fine. Then he said how I should have changed anyways, and it was my fault that the two are now fighting over this. I tried texting her that I was sorry and that if I had known, then I wouldn't have done it. I woke up today and I saw her and her husband have blocked me on everything. So am I the jerk for not changing out of the wedding dress when I found out it was actually a wedding? And edit, I'm a guy. I cosplay the character Emily from The Corpse Bride and had blue paint all over. I'm also Australian and I've never heard a costume party meaning fancy. Everyone was dressed up in a funny costume. All right, folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk. If he didn't know it was a wedding, and when he found out, he's like, hey, groom, should I keep wearing this? And the groom's like, yeah. If the groom doesn't know his bride well enough to know that she would be upset by this, then that's on him, and probably he shouldn't be married.
You know, what I have to say about this? This one is killing me. I feel like a corpse after reading this. OP should have read everyone's mind there. That's my thoughts. Read everyone's mind, OP. Do a better job at being psychic.
No.
Everyone knows that as a corpse bride, you have magic psychic abilities, so you should have exercised those. I'm kidding. Of course, I don't know if it needs to be said that I'm kidding, but I am. Yeah, I would have a hard time blaming OP for this situation. They didn't create it. They offered to go home and change. They did everything right, I feel.
Mm-hmm. And, if you're going to make your wedding a surprise, you have to expect that someone is not going to, know it's a wedding and they're going to do something that's not wedding appropriate, And so if you are doing a surprise wedding and you don't want people wearing certain things, you got to specify that.
Yeah.
Maybe it will spoil the surprise for some if you say, no bride cosplays or something like that, but people might put two and two together. But better that than have someone show up in a wedding dress if that's not what you want.
Yeah. Or all white.
Yeah.
Because there could have been all kinds of costumes that would have had white dresses too.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I don't think OP is the jerk at all. Anyhow, take care and good luck. Alright, folks, our next letter, very creepy letter, is titled, Am I the Jerk? I recently discovered that my dad follows multiple accounts of underage girls on social media. I recently discovered that my father follows multiple accounts of young girls between 12 and 15, and he is 65. Growing up, he used to take photos of my high school friends, and when they turned 18, he would convince some to pose for him in the nude because he claimed that he was an artist and photography. My mother did nothing to stop this behavior, and I would always find some very, very inappropriate things in his search history. Well, fast forward, I moved away, and after I had my daughter, they followed me and bought a house down the street from me. My daughter is now 10 years old, and I do not want them around her and her friends. Now that I have discovered this behavior is still happening, am I justified with going no contact? Yes. Like, there's just no question at all. OP, you need to go get away from these people as far away as you can.
I was going to say, it's not even am I justified? It's a moral obligation to keep your daughter and her friends away from this man.
And call the police on them, for goodness sake. Get the FBI or Child Protective Services or any number of people. Chances are he has all that garbage on his hard drive still, and he'll go to jail for a good long time, and which he deserves to go to jail for. This is a man who took advantage of young children. He deserves to go to jail. Plain and simple. That you're not being harsh enough, OP. I know that this is hard, and family is sometimes a thing that's really difficult to deal with in these situations.
Well, it gets kind of normalized too. If you grow up in this environment, it's hard to see how wrong it is, because from an outsider's perspective, it's easy to be like, oh, this is terrible.
Yeah.
But it seems like OP is like, oh, wow, my daughter is now almost a teen and my dad is a creep. What do I do?
Yeah, call the police. That's what you do. I mean, I don't blame you for not knowing what to do as a kid. I don't blame you for having this reinforced because your mother allowed this to continue on. They both belong in jail. Both of your parents belong in jail. Plain and simple. I will say it. Throw away the key. All right, folks, our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Refusing to Share My Family's Cookbook with My Half-Sister? My mom's grandmother started a cookbook before she had kids. My grandma inherited it off of her when grandma started having kids, and then my mom got it before she had me. My mom gave it to me when she was sick. I was 7 at the time, and she died soon after. She told me to be careful with it, and that it was special to our family. A couple of years after she died, I learned that my dad had cheated on her with his wife, and that my half-sister was the product of an affair and born before my parents' divorce was finalized. I was too young to realize when it was all going on. After learning this, I had a hard time being around my dad. I remember my mom being sad, and it made sense why. I also learned that he had told my mom in a really cruel way. How I found out is that I eavesdropped on a fight between dad and my uncle and aunt, my mom's siblings, and heard it all, including how much my dad hated how boring my mom was. I remained distant from him, his half-wife, and my half-sibling ever since. I have 2 more half-siblings and a half-brother. My dad decided to tell my oldest half-sibling about the cookbook. He mentioned how much I value it and all kinds of stuff. She wanted to share it with me and to cook from it and to get to write in it like I will someday. She pestered me about it, and every time I told her no. Then her parents would tell her even more about it. In the end, she was upset and sobbing over being told no. I had told her that it was something special from my mom's side, and I wanted to keep it private until I had children. That wasn't good enough because she insisted that we're family and she's my sister. My dad and his wife were angry at me. My dad's parents also told me that I should have shared it with her and that I'm being cruel to her when my mom isn't alive to care if a child born from an affair gets part of the book or not. But she could be closer to me if I shared it with her. I don't really care about my dad or his wife's opinions. I have no respect for them. They're pieces of garbage in my eyes. But my grandparents and I always got along okay enough. Am I the jerk? All right, folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
No, I don't think you're the jerk. This is your treasured possession from your mother, and it's up to you how you want to share it. Your dad has no say in how you share it, and what he and his wife are doing is really disgusting.
Yeah.
They're trying to basically weasel their kids into your life so you'll forget and move on. And granted, the children, it's not their fault. But you don't have to be BFFs with them because what your dad did is horrifying and horrible.
Yeah.
And so your grandparents are not being very good people here either.
No, I think your grandparents aren't being supportive of you, and they're not taking the loss that you had seriously enough.
Yeah.
And they're treating this just like you're holding it from her because you don't like her, when in reality, you want this to be part of your memories. You don't want it to be tainted by the memory of an affair. You want it to be kind of in its pure form, and if she started contributing to it, then it would probably be a sour reminder of the infidelity that your dad had and the cruelty that he had towards your mom.
Yeah, exactly. And I like how it's always the person who is being hurt, you need to be extended an olive branch to get closer. Like, if they want you two to be closer, why doesn't she share something that's deeply personal to her?
Or why doesn't she share the olive branch or extend the olive branch by not pestering you anymore?
Or that too, yeah. Like, it's always, like, it feels like, why are they asking you to sacrifice OP? Like, it's not a fair ask.
Yeah, for sure. So, anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got a beverage of choice right here that happens to be tea, and Amber's got a demonic-looking joke book in her hands.
What did the hamburger give her sweetheart?
Well, so I'm actually good friends with a hamburger and their sweetheart, and this hamburger really, really, like, knew their partner well, and what they gave to them was a surprise wedding, and it was all the fries and all the rage. Like, the fries were there, and they, like, gathered around them, and they, like, had some kind of, like, special dance party. It was you had to have been there. I mean, I'm not really describing it well, but let me tell you, it was a special event, and no one complained about it, and no one wore a corpse bride costume either.
She gave her girlfriend an onion ring.
Yeah, I mean, there were onion rings involved too. I should have mentioned that.
Now I want onion rings.
And I have a licorice spice.
You know the thing though, onion rings, like, I don't even like the onions. I like the coating, so what I will do sometimes is pull the onion out and just eat the coating, because I don't like onions.
Amber likes the batter part of the onion ring. She likes the fried batter part.
Yes.
And I mean, the fried batter part, depending on the onion rings, is the best part, arguably, right? The onion is just kind of like a thin layer of tasteless stuff for you to just eat. It's good. They're really good. The crunchy onion rings are really good. I'll say that. I don't like the soggy ones. Soggy onion rings, no, I won't touch them. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks to Amber for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Happy Friday, Junior.
Happy Friday, Junior.
We're almost to the end of the week, folks, and boy, what a week it has been. Amber, tell me, what is the moral of the story, and make it a surprise?
Wouldn't it be a surprise if I just tell you what it is, because you're not anticipating what I'm saying?
Yeah, just make it a surprise.
Okay.
Make it very surprising. Make it a surprising moral.
The moral of today is you can't go wrong with French fries.
That is surprising.
But is it?
Well, no, I mean, it's surprising because it's not the moral I was expecting, right? So it certainly is a surprise. So I will say it is a surprising moral. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you all tomorrow.
Bye.